Yo, hello everybody. Welcome to Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I'm so excited for this. This is my first speed game ever and still my favorite to date. It's going to be such a blast to show you this game and the crazy movement tech that it has in it. But yeah, I'm Bdud5, a modern PlayStation speedrunner. Let my couch introduce themselves.
I'm JHobz. I ran a Ratchet and Clank game in 2015 and then somehow still end up on couches sometimes.
And I'm Syn. I'm also another Rift Apart runner. I've also run a lot of other Ratchet and PlayStation games.
They're both qualified to be here.
Yeah, me and Syn traded. He's my first rival. We traded world records the first year that I ever started speedrunning. So yeah. Okay, so we're going to be doing all gold bolts, which is basically a better any percent. It's going to be pretty much essentially any percent combat, how we go about it normally, but the gold bolts that we get, 25 of them, it's going to be basically no or minimal time loss to get them, so it's going to help with a little bit more of downtime, and it's just going to make it a more entertaining category overall. So yeah, I think we're ready to get started. Well, actually, first, can we confirm what the final Ratchet outfit is going to be?
We're looking for Marauder.
Marauder, okay. Let's do it, okay. So I'll count us down when I skip this cutscene. Start the timer in 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Yo.
Woo! All right, so Ratchet and Clank, it's been a few years. They're back at the game, finally. They have a parade celebrating them as heroes, but it may or may not get invaded. Let me go ahead and put that Marauder outfit on. We look really good. So yeah, this is going to be full of a lot of cool movement tech, but the big movement tech isn't going to be until about 27 minutes into the run. Until then, we have a lot of groundbreaking glitches and tech and combat to highlight until then. To start off, sprint jumping is going to be our biggest form of, it's going to be our fastest form of movement. And right here, I'm going to press the button, and I'm going to just get close to the camera. Look, Mom, I'm on GDQ. Woo! All right. Syn, do you want to start explaining this insane thing?
Of course, yeah. So our first trick is actually coming up very quickly here. So there's a trick that we can pretty much use with the PlayStation 5 menu and the photo mode options. So what Bdud is going to do is he's going to open up the create menu and then the photo mode as well. And when he exits out of that, he's bringing up the create menu again. And it pretty much just pulled the section that we needed to go to over to us.
And while he was doing that, he was taking more photos than like an Instagram model. It was ridiculous.
You can imagine what his photo album is probably like in this game.
Got to kill this enemy. Acquired enemy to then get into the next section. Restarting checkpoint like basically spawns us forward as a result of what all just happened. And it meant he didn't have to deal with this grinding like rail section. Generally, the rail grind sections are slow, and we want to try to avoid them.
Yeah, this game is going to be very checkpoint heavy, so a lot of the times it may look like I'm going in random areas or directions, and it's all deliberate. Like I've optimized this very well, and so everywhere I'm going is very intentional. Coming up here, we're going to need to level up our blast pistol. So weapon leveling is going to be a very important aspect in this run. We need to get to V2 before destroying the ship that's coming up here. Maybe one of you can explain it further.
Yeah, when we're talking about weapon leveling, look in the top right corner of the screen there. You see that XP bar, and specifically the currently equipped weapon is in the far top right, and the number below it to the bottom right is the level. So as the weapons gain experience from hitting enemies, they will level up, and that not only increases, just the damage of the weapon from the get-go, but it also unlocks the ability to empower them further with something called Raritanium that we'll be getting more of later. And importantly, every weapon level up gives you a full ammo refresh.
Yep, exactly.
Ammo is a big part of this run, ammo management, because we're not going to be using a lot of weapons, and we don't want to be, constantly just kind of hunting for ammo all over the place. So it's a huge part of it.
But, yeah, exactly.
We got some wild movement going on here.
Yeah, so as just most of the Ratchet games, this game also has an infinite jump trick. And so we can just skip that elevator to just go straight into the cutscene trigger and saves a bit of time.
Yeah, so the way that infinite jumps work is we use a trick called photo mode abuse to open photo mode, and it's going to kind of suspend our position and animations while all the internal systems go forward. So if we have the wrench slam kind of animation fully go through, which is like a second, if we keep photo mode up during that, it will put us in a grounded state after it comes out. And this aspect of photo mode abuse is going to be handy in a ton of places going forward, too.
You're going to see that photo mode pop up several times. You may hear us call it PMA, but we'll try to call it photo mode abuse a lot.
Yeah, so we're actually going to be getting the main weapon in this run, the Shatter Bomb, and it starts out with 6 ammo, and coincidentally, this fight actually has 6 enemies.
Keep an eye on the top right corner, down to 3 ammo already, 3 enemies taken out.
Yeah, and a bunch of the fights in this, there's a lot of planning when it comes to, you know, the routing on the actual enemies and the actual ammo itself.
Yeah, and the wrench actually does pretty good damage as well, but we want to get experience on the Shatter Bomb because it is a huge part of the run, as Syn was mentioning.
Yeah, and similar to what kind of JHobz just mentioned, we're actually going to be getting some Raritanium here because Raritanium upgrades are actually going to be pretty important throughout the run.
Real cool thing happening here. Bdud is going to be trying to avoid getting hit by this train, but having it kill that drop ship right there, which is super fun. You just take out a ship with a train.
Yeah, and it gives us the new checkpoint. It's so cool.
It's a good way to take out everybody. So in this game, like, enemies don't generally just like spawn in front of you, you know, or teleport into place. They actually come in on drop ships, and that's true of a lot of the Ratchet games. And they are in the drop ship as it's flying around. So if you can take out the drop ship before it gets there, you've just wiped out an entire wave of enemies without having to deal with them.
Yes. So we're going to get a cluster of Raritanium here. So yeah, a lot of Raritanium we're going to be needing to evolve a lot during the run. We're going to be getting like 3 weapons over the course of the run. And like getting them leveled up from V1, V2, V3, all the way to V5 will give us a lot of extra power and stuff. But yeah, it's those upgrades that will do more specific abilities like Shatter Bomb will have this after effect ability that will just like spawn a second or 2 after we throw each one. But also like throw them faster, better rate of fire, more ammo. They'll be extremely useful over the course of the run.
You can see Bdud's already about halfway to level 2 on that Shatter Bomb and is really trying to make sure that he hits level 2 at a specific point in order to speed up some fights.
Yeah, and a lot of the damage you do initially as well, we want to make sure it's direct contact, because like Bdud mentioned before, like we don't actually have a lot of upgrades yet, but we will eventually be getting them. So it's way more specific on making sure we're aiming and hitting the enemies because, you know, throwing the bomb next to the enemies might not kill them on that first throw.
So now more ammo management happening here. These boxes that he's breaking have bolts, which are a currency, and also some of them have ammo. And he's having to try to make sure that he's getting Shatter Bomb ammo and only using 3 at a time on the boss while like kind of weaving in some other blast pistol shots as well, because he wants to get that boss down to 45% right then before it starts a longer animation attack.
Yeah, exactly. And that longer animation attack as well, you actually can't do any damage to the boss during that, so that ends up being a pretty big time loss. But it looks like we actually did not get that here, which is awesome to see.
Yeah.
And we do have, there is some randomness with the ammo that can drop, but there are ways to kind of help corral that randomness. And part of that is trying to make sure that you're primarily just using a single weapon and leaving your other weapons at maximum ammo, but also not depleting your weapon all the way down to 0.
That would be a bad idea.
Yeah, it makes it weirdly a little bit more random.
So here we have the epic sequence of all the Rift.
This is the trailer. This is the trailer.
But this is basically a 1-minute unskippable cutscene for us. So we can go ahead and take a few donations.
Awesome. JWind86 sent in $33. Bdud, mon ami, stop being Ratchet.
Mon ami. Thank you, J-Win.
$100 came in from Ethan King. Always excited to see a Ratchet and Blank game at GDQ. Also, hi, JHobz.
What's up, Ethan? Thanks.
We can go for 1 or 2 more.
Sure thing. Panda King 75 sent in $50 to Doctors Without Borders. Such an amazing event with amazing people. There was another $50 donation, this time from Anonymous. One of the most important lessons the Ratchet and Clank series ever taught me was that sometimes the end is at the beginning.
I knew it had to happen.
The classic.
At some point.
Someone had to say it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not very true in this game for the most part.
All right, so we have Nefarious stole the Dimensioner and basically sent us to a dimension where he always wins. I'm going to do a little Finch jump that saves 2 seconds, and then we have Whipped Cream here.
Yeah, we're going to wedge Ratchet here in between that pillar. You can see Ratchet's actually stuck in a pillar right now.
Zooming up.
Yeah, so the elevator won't actually directly squish Ratchet, but if we're kind of like in between off and on of the actual elevator, it'll kind of push us into that pole, and that skips having to turn a bolt crank.
Yeah. In general, we're going to have to turn some bolt cranks, so you'll see what that looks like later. But for the most part, it's just a little bit of a slowdown mechanic that we don't want to deal with. Oh,
nice. There you go.
Got on the backside.
But yeah, that whipped cream strat, it wasn't found for a few years, but when the PC game came out, a PS4 runner named Xantho found it, so it's cool that the PC version was allowed us to find some new strats that apply to all versions of the game.
And now we get slowed down here for a little bit, so a lot of just jumping to try to go as fast as possible. But if you thought, like, we've just been walking for most of this or anything like that, we are about to get the first kind of major movement tech. But first, get a cool little launch there.
That's the swing shot fling. It's very cool.
A lot of those show up in this level, and there's like a couple that show up in the next level.
It's really sad those aren't just all over the run because they are really cool, but they're only a quick burst here.
Unfortunately, a lot of it's because we do get a lot cooler movement options later on, but it's such a cool kind of early game tech to be able to throw ourselves with the swing shot.
Absolutely. Bdud having to, know which enemies he needs to take out for certain waves to like unlock doors, just, basically let the story progress.
Yeah.
So that he can, now this is the bolt crank that we were talking about before. So generally want to try to avoid those when we can, but sometimes you got to do them.
Yeah, normally the bolt cranks do have like a giant lock symbol on it, so we do actually have to do those fights to be able to unlock them.
Now here, having to use 2 grenades at the beginning, the scatter shot there, and then I saw the other flying thing getting in the way for a second. And then trying to take out the enemies from the air here. Again, only 6 ammo right now, so really doesn't have much to work with.
Hey, and here's our next piece of actual movement tech. This is the Phantom Dash. So pretty much the main thing that we have here is when you do a dash normally on the ground, Ratchet will actually have an ending animation where he kind of like stumbles a little bit before you can do the next one. But what you can do here is you can actually jump and then dash and then, just repeat, and it's actually, the movement's a lot faster.
Does the skin change how this looks? Like, isn't there normally like a trail?
There is. It's an option that you can turn off.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, normally it's like there's different copies of like Ratchet that will actually kind of play behind him, sort of like a record kind of thing. But that is an accessibility you can turn off.
Okay, nice. That was a hard one.
Nice.
I do the wrench swing to keep my momentum going from that, by the way. Otherwise, it would stop sooner.
Yeah, the swing shot flings are basically just like starting up a swing shot and then canceling it with a jump over and over, and it builds up momentum, and then you run into a traffic light. Now, this is Mrs. Zircon. That is our vendor, our ammo and weapon vendor for the run. Have to use her in order to get certain, like spend the raritanium we've been collecting on upgrades, but you can't get access to like the full weapon tree basically until you level up the weapon to V5.
Exactly, yep. Yeah, and there's actually a section up here where there is an unskippable cutscene, but thankfully, the trigger is actually just sitting at the top, so we can restart checkpoint to skip it.
Yep, and now Bdud's going to kind of lock in on some combat here. We have this big like spa fight, and he also is doing what is called a dialogue mute. Do you want to explain more about the specifics of this dialogue mute, Syn?
Oh yeah, so pretty much anytime a character talks, you can actually mute the dialogue, and it could potentially skip certain dialogue lines, or when the dialogue is over, it can actually speed up some sequences for like the next cutscene playing, for example. So what we do here is we actually hold down one of the buttons on the controller, and then we either pause or open up the map, and then we open up the create menu, and then we exit out of that. And then that allows all the dialogue to pretty much stop. But thankfully, we get to hear all the grunts of the enemies dying.
Yeah,
so.
None of the music anymore, but you just get to hear all of them dying. Now, the other thing that Bdud was doing there was just trying to make sure that specific ammo crates are broken at specific times, so that way he could keep getting the Shatter Bomb ammo refills without like wasting them. Because if you break 3 ammo crates, but 1 would get you back to full ammo, then you've effectively wasted 2 ammo crates, right? And early on, he was only able to buy a few upgrades from Mrs. Zircon, so he got 2 extra ammo. He has 8 to work with now, but it's very important to like be managing all of that ammo, and that's true of pretty much the whole run. We're not going to like harp on it every single time, but just keep that in mind that Bdud is trying to like pay close attention to his ammo all over the place.
Yeah, and of course, since this is all gold bolts, as you see, we've been primarily on the main path so far on this level. We do need to now go back and grab the remaining 2 gold bolts that we didn't get previously. On the first level we were actually at, there was actually no gold bolts on that level, because in most Ratchet and Clank games, the very first level of the game, a lot of the time you can't return to it.
Yeah, it's like a tutorial level.
Yeah, so that game is more in line with any %.
Yep, and there's 25 gold bolts in the game. There's about 3 per world, give or take. And so you're going to be seeing us, get all of them as we go through.
Okay, hold on. We got to be quiet here for a second. For maybe a line that might show up. Come on, say it, say it. Absolutely. We love Tuesday Guy. He's so relatable.
You guys know it's like Monday, right? It's not Tuesday. It's tomorrow. But yeah, 3rd gold bolt acquired, and now we're just going to work on getting out of here.
Yeah, I skipped the checkpoint at the start of that section. It's usually for the spy bot, but since we only go for the gold bolt, because I missed the first checkpoint, I don't get any of the other checkpoints, and the restart checkpoint just sends me to the hub area. So.
And now we have a boss that's going to kind of rip you through different dimensions.
Yeah.
And if everything goes right, Bdud's going to kill this boss in this dimension. It is supposed to take you 2 more after this. So let's see how he does.
There we go.
Oh, nice. Plenty of time to spare.
Nice. And he got the Raritanium as well.
Very nice.
Yeah, boss drops 3 Raritanium, but if you actually skip a cutscene too early or just get pulled into the rift too early, you can actually miss out on that Raritanium. You have to get it back up.
We have a glitch here. We love glitch, but thankfully, speedrunning-wise, we're able to skip her puzzles and get right back into the main action and combat of the game.
Yeah, in this game is called Ratchet and Clank, and they let you skip the Clank sections entirely because they just let you skip every puzzle in this game, any of the little puzzle sections. They are fun though. I highly recommend, when you play the game, don't skip them.
All right, so we're coming up to Sargasso, and this is where Rivet's debut is. I love Rivet so much. Her design is really great, and yeah, she's just so good. She acts the same as Ratchet. They share the same weapons and everything. But yeah, she's a great addition to the series. This is the time where we can close off the Rivet incentive and choose Rivet's outfit.
Sounds good. Rivet's armor, it looks like will be the Clank armor.
Oh, nice.
Never mind, we don't skip Clank.
Okay, so much for looking and appreciating Rivet's design. But hey, this Clank outfit's it's something.
Yeah. Thank you all for donating to MSF with all these skin choices. Very cool.
All right, so we have tiptoe strat here. I need to save my grounded position by walking on the ground for 1 second, and now I need to just tiptoe my way over here.
Seen him jump on all of these things that aren't really safe ground, so they aren't going to reset his grounded position. So that way, once he jumps to the end, he just hits a checkpoint that he has to hit to get the story to progress, and then he just warps back to where he first entered the rift, which saves a bunch of time. We're on the Speedle.
We got a little proxy with it.
Small optimization there. It saves a couple seconds.
Yeah, the Speedle, the more you weave in the air and the more you're in the air, it goes slower. So even though it's a more direct line, it only saves a few seconds.
We're not going to be on the Speedle a lot, but we will have a couple of sections with it.
Yeah, and in this fight here, we're actually going to be using the green explosives to be able to blow up these ships a lot faster. So Bdud's going to be kind of planning out here when the ships fly by to be able to throw a shatter bomb at those bombs. And it looks like he was able to destroy all of those.
Yeah, again, the name of the game, destroy entire waves at a time whenever possible by just blowing the dropship up.
Yeah, and right here, Bdud actually went to the right there and then back in because there's a checkpoint that you can actually, or a cutscene that can actually get activated a little bit earlier. So that's kind of why he did that.
And now with the Shatter Bomb being up to V3, he was able to use the Raritanium to upgrade it even further. So still 8 ammo right now, but some more damage, that kind of thing.
And thankfully, this game actually has a upgrade all functionality with the Raritanium. So like in other Ratchets, we have to individually kind of do each Raritanium. And this one, you can kind of bulk do it, which makes it really awesome for the speed run because we can just immediately upgrade everything.
We've also glossed over the casual mechanic, but whenever you see those yellow rifts pop up that Bdud kind of grapples and pulls himself to, that's just the casual mechanic. It is, in some cases, fast because it can pull you a long distance, but sometimes it's a slow animation that locks you in place. So we're going to sometimes just completely skip them. Another combat sequence here, trying to really pay attention to that ammo. See in the top right corner, back down to 0, back up to 6. You don't have a lot to work with. And the blast pistol is nowhere near as fast as the Shadow Bomb.
The one time we use it at the beginning is the only time you'll probably see it, except for maybe one other time.
Another fling here. Nice.
That's probably the last fling we'll do, unfortunately.
Yeah, and thankfully this Grunthor boss, there's a ton of ammo just conveniently sitting right next to the Grunthor.
And it takes a long time to make any kind of movement, really. But I do believe Bdud you are going for headshots on it, right?
Yeah, they do give a little bit of extra damage. We're going to ride the Speedle all the way into the hideout here.
Nice.
And then we're going to still use the Speedle to try to skip this Secret Peep Phase 1 early.
There we go,
It's
nice.
this.
Yeah.
Sick. Yeah, you are supposed to have to run a long time before you can make that happen.
Got time for any donations right now?
In just a
moment.
minute.
Yeah.
So up here, we're going to have, after I do this fight, I'm going to be kind of specific with trying to not get my ammo too early, but then after this fight, we're going to skip the second Seer Peep phase with PMA, photo mode abuse. So once we get to 50%, we basically need to wait for the Seer Peep to be right above us, and then I can use photo mode abuse to suspend my position so I never get on the Speedle, and so that the Seeker Peep will be right above me, and then I can just throw a bomb, and the endpoint will finish with any damage that's done. It doesn't have to be the Speedle. Any damage done to the endpoint will in that section immediately.
So the weird thing with photo mode abuse is that basically it looks like, why would you freeze in a speedrun, right? Why would you stop? But basically you have to think about it as everything is visually frozen, but their positions are kind of still being like moved and updated. And the story, or like, the game's kind of events are still progressing.
Yeah, all the events and cutscenes will go, but the actual enemies and actual like characters will remain frozen.
So sometimes that'll allow you to put enemies in more advantageous positions. Sometimes that'll allow you to launch Ratchet or Rivet, and we'll see that in different points in the run.
Okay, I got all the rare tame I needed from the boss too. Sometimes it doesn't spawn, so I'm glad that I got it there. We have a really big trick coming up. Maybe Syn can start explaining it.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to be trying to skip a unskippable cutscene that plays when Rivet jumps into the ship. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be quitting out after this small cutscene happens, and then we're going to be loading our save while holding another button, and then that's going to allow us to actually control the actual game behind the PlayStation menu.
Kind of similar to the create menu stuff that happened before.
Yeah, and then we're going to actually start a new game on a different save with the load menu up from the first save. Yeah, and so then what Bdud's going to do is it's going to load the first save with that one running. Unfortunately, did not get it here. Let's see if we can get that again. And what will happen is that we'll get an extended black screen, and it's because we're actually trying to like lag the game. And it's going to allow us to actually select the next planet in the list while the cutscene is actually like beginning to play. So let's see if we get it here.
Yeah, he's having to like kind of use a really specific rhythm to be able to try to switch from mashing the confirm button and into like kind of long jumping towards the ship.
Yeah, because we're pretty much loading that save, and then we're also like skipping the cutscene on the new save, and also trying to make sure we're pressing X at a good time to be able to get into the ship.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it one more time.
Yeah, this it's a
this
really,
is really
tricky
tricky.
trick.
Yeah,
there are a few tricks like this where you're kind of the main idea you're thinking of here is while Ratchet or Rivet would normally be in kind of a locked position, you kind of take advantage of the fact that like as you're
oh, there we go, we got it. Nice, nice,
very nice. As you're like fooling the game, you're kind of fooling the game into letting you control while it's fading out or fading in from a situation. We see that happen a couple of times. In fact, it just happened now with a cutscene warp that actually launched you kind of like in the wrong angle or too far. And now we're actually heading into Xerxes, which is the first of a couple of visits here.
Oh my god.
And this is actually the arena level and like one of, I guess, like the hubs of the game that the game kind of sends you back to a couple times. So kind of what Bdud did is that when the level started, he actually used one of the accessibility options to skip the cutscene on the D-pad, and he held like slightly forward and right on the D-pad, and it kind of just launches you forward. And there's a couple of those that we do in the run as well.
Yeah, and now that we're basically just gonna head into a required arena where the combat is really particular, but we've kind of told you a little bit about that. You can kind of just watch what Bdud's doing. So mintswirl, if you want to go ahead with some donations and stuff.
Sure thing. We got a $25 donation from InSomDev.
Yo!
InSomDev donation train. Speedrunning has had such an incredible impact on my life and is the reason I work in games. I went from watching GDQ to running at GDQ to making games that will be run at GDQ, all because I was introduced to GDQ 10 years ago. Let's raise more money for an awesome cause.
Thank you.
That is super cool, and I am very excited for all the games you get to work on.
Yeah.
And it sounds like we have other InSomDevs who are going to be donating throughout the run, so look forward to that. I'd also like
exciting.
to call out that for the upcoming Star Wars Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2 run, we have an incentive we opened a bit back to upgrade the category to all secrets. I would love to see this met. We've been making steady pace on it, but we're going to need to still raise about 12,000 more by the start of the run. Get your donations in at gdq.gg/donate.
Y'all should definitely donate for that because the Star Wars Jedi Knight games are actually extremely cool speedruns.
Oh, yeah.
They are one of my like 3 a.m. SGDQ 2016 kind of finds, and they were such a vibe. I highly recommend checking that out.
It's one of those games where like after like a month or two, I always check in to see if there's a new record.
Yeah, you do not need to know anything about those games to tune into them. They're really cool. But mintswirl, if you want to throw in a couple more while Bdud's finishing this arena up.
Sure thing. 24/7 Yu-Gi-Oh! Sent in $10.
Yo.
Whoa, I love Ratchet and Clank. I see they've upped their arsenal this game with some new tools of destruction. Sounds like it'll be a cracking time. I'm all for runs that are locked and loaded like this. Just be careful of the rift. Apart from that, good luck on the run.
Okay, okay, that was
Some good wordplay there.
The last one was good.
Shout out to 24/7 Yu-Gi-Oh! Another Ratchet speedrunner.
Yeah,
It's like all the games.
Yeah, thank you, Yugi.
You got maybe one more?
Sure thing. We actually had another dev. This was Insom Dev Josh donating $100. Have fun breaking our game beyond all recognition for charity. Grab those gold bolts, save the frames, and say hi to the Morts for me.
Oh, let's go. Wait another like 3 or 4 minutes, and you'll really see how Bdud's gonna break this game.
Yeah, every time we do the speedrun, we will say hi to Mort, because like after this split, basically we have to call him Mort, and he's always like, "Hey there, Riven," and I'm always like, "Hey there, Mort."
Nice.
But yeah, this is the final
I was
wave.
gonna say, this is the final wave, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then we fight our favorite boy ever, Francois. So I do another speedrun Expedition 33, and in both games we have a boss that we fight like a third of the way into the run. That's both called Francois.
I wrote down about it, and my notes were just to make sure that you parry the unbelievably, strong ice attack, the strongest ice attack ever. But I think this is the same booklet that I used last event. So yeah, I was just on the wrong page there.
All right.
But shout outs to easy bosses named Francois.
Yeah. And then Pierre is gonna embrace the French. And he's gonna be like, "Sacre bleu! I've strained me ankle." Listen, it's good.
Sacré bleu! Oh! I have sprained my ankle!
Yes.
But have no fear. My less attractive stand-up.
Okay, it's weird seeing Riven with like a Clank body when the helmet comes off. I'm not thinking about that.
All right, so here's Francois. So because I did get my Shadow Bomb to V5 and did all the rare Titanium upgrades, I should be able to beat him with no problem. Otherwise, I would actually have a problem with ammo and beating him in time here, and it would add like a lot of time.
Yeah, so top right, 3 out of 19. 19 ammo, that's all you're gonna have on the Shadow Bomb for the rest of the run, which at least is significantly more than 6 that we started with, but you can run out of it pretty quickly once you get some of these like larger fights with a lot of waves.
Yeah, and some of the upgrades we got as well with that will increase the radius at the actual damage that's done to the enemies, so it's a little bit more lenient as well for us to just kind of spam throw some of the bombs
direct
to hit
hits
them.
aren't quite as important as they were before.
All right, so the next planet is a really big one. This is when the run starts getting a lot more fast pace, and basically the reason why I love this run and why I got into speedrunning basically starts.
Yeah.
So and what I'm talking about is the hover boots. They make us go faster, and there's a lot of cool intricacies to the hover boots that make this run what it is. But yeah.
The hover boots, if you've played this game, you remember the hover boots probably. Like they let you skate around all over the ground, and just they speed you up a ton. They put you in this nice like big open flat planet to unlock them so that you can just play around with them. It's kind of like being on roller skates in a way. They are super cool. But they also allow us to use them in ways that they didn't really intend. But they are still just, even casually, they're really fast. And really fun to
there's
use.
so much like free movement that you could do with them. I feel like this is the most kind of free that the hover boots have ever been in the series, because in the older games, it was more kind of set to like a certain path, and then you would kind of slow down as you held it, and then you'd kind of have to reinitiate that charge. But this game like fully opens the hover boots for you to be able to be always at full speed at all times. And we're about to get them here in a second.
All right.
And of course, with the hover boots, if you've never even seen a speedrun of this before, there's going to be some pretty cool stuff that's going to happen right about now.
You could just fly like all over the thing. It's ridiculous.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is called the wrench boost.
Yeah, so get ready for what the rest of this run is about to be.
Yeah, this should be kind of your warning here on what's going to be in store for the rest of the run.
Yeah. So into another comment arena here, but what we can kind of, we'll explain the hover boots in more detail, or the wrench boosts rather, in more detail, but it is important to note that the Shatter Bomb not only will blow up on a direct hit, but after about 2 seconds of flying. So there's a lot of flying enemies in this particular fight that Bdud's having to do. So you're gonna see points where he's just pointing at the sky, lobbing bombs like this to try to have them explode after 2 seconds and knock out these flying ships before they can really become a nuisance or get out of hand.
Yep. Good.
That was great.
All nefarious forces have been eliminated.
Okay, so we're gonna wrench boost again. There's 3 temples in this area, so each one of them is gonna have combat. But we need to get some gold bolts on the way.
Yeah, so Syn, you kind of want to get into a little bit more of the specifics of these wrench boosts as we watch Bdud just fly.
Yeah, so how the wrench boost actually works is, so the first thing is that obviously the actual hover boots have to charge up themselves. So you have to be at the full charge of the hover boots. And then once you're actually full charge, you want to hold the L2 button on the controller. And the whole L2 thing is actually just because this was really easy to do at launch. So Insomniac actually wanted this to stay in the game. So they just made it so you also had to hold L2.
Yeah, they effectively removed it and then added it back in, but had to hold a button that you would never hold casually.
Exactly, yeah. So you have to hold that button,
do
and then you pretty much need to go into any, slanted surface, like a slanted rock or anything like that. And then all you're going to do is you're going to use one of these slowdown accessibilities that's available in the game. And then you're just going to swing the wrench on any surface, just like what you saw there. And then, Ratchet or Rivet will just go absolutely flying.
Yeah. So basically every time, and I'll point out the next wrench boost that's coming up, but every time that you see Bdud just kind of rub his face up against a wall and kind of stop for a second, you can look in the bottom right corner below where the bolt count and the raritanium count is. There'll be a little green hexagon or something, a little green icon, and that means that time is currently being slowed. And again, as Syn mentioned, it's an accessibility feature, but we can use that to abuse the amount of speed you get from a wrench boost to really fly. Reminder not to soft lock the game.
Yeah, he waited specifically a couple seconds before attacking these enemies because this fight can actually soft lock if you start attacking way too early, and you actually don't know if you soft locked it until the fight ends.
Yeah.
And so this is also another wave-based encounter, so Bdud's going to be targeting specific enemies here. You can see 2 of the dropships are actually overlapped right now.
Also, look at that ammo again. We said 19's still not a lot. We're down to 1, down to 0. And then, thankfully, Bdud had already broken some ammo crates and knew that he was going to be getting some Shatter Bomb ammo and could go and pick it up.
Okay, that last ship is required to beat fully. The next trick is Mountain Ascension. It's probably one of the biggest tricks in the game, so I'm hoping I pull it off.
Yeah, so again, to bottom right corner, watch for that little green icon to mean that time is slowed down, and then Bdud stops the time slowdown as he does a wrench swing and launches.
Hold on.
There is only 1 temple left.
There we go. And so where we're trying to aim is we're trying to actually hit a bounce on a small part of this bridge. Let's see if we can get this here.
I didn't get the proxy,
Just barely,
but
yeah.
You kind of had too much height.
Yeah.
Right?
Thankfully, we are close enough here to where we can just infinite jump. And you can actually see right here, having an infinite jump in a game like this is probably pretty nice.
Yeah. And then another boost here. And then bouncing right off this, you're going to hear us call these proxies, bounces, launches. They're all basically the same thing we're talking about here, where you hit a piece of geometry with enough speed that you just get launched up into the air. Think about it like throwing a ping pong ball on a curved surface, right? It'll just go up at an angle.
I think you're being too hard on yourself.
I do not know.
okay. If I did this quick enough, I don't have to do a dialogue mute on Ratchet and Kit's line. I do need to change that back because I started a new game from the Sargasso in cutscene. Okay,
And I will state as well that Mountain Ascension sequence was really good.
Yeah,
that's one of
awesome.
that's one of the hardest
honestly, I'm giving him
sequences
5
in the game
That was
to
really
do.
good.
I have a relevant donation here from one of the devs.
Go for it.
$100 from Insom dev Justin. Greetings from dev support. We get paid to break the game, but speedrunners are on a whole other level. Good luck on the run, less than 3.
Thank you. Thank you from all the love from the devs. I appreciate it.
Yes.
I also wanted to shout out on that Star Wars incentive. We are almost halfway there with $10,312 remaining. I know we can get this incentive met so soon.
Now we need your help.
Get your donations in at gdq.gg/donate.
Looks like this cable
Yeah, definitely make that happen, folks.
Yeah, so here we're actually going to be doing another bounce. So typically you're supposed to do like a racetrack here to get up to where the archive is at. But of course, you know, we don't have to do that. What we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be doing a wrench boost to bounce off of one of the, I guess, like speed up pad kind of areas or like slight mountain. You'll see that right here.
I am not getting the speed I need.
And you can actually also get another kind of version of that where instead of actually doing a bounce, you can actually get a good enough wrench boost to where you go just straight to the archive.
Yeah, and you'll notice too that like there are a lot of times where Bdud will be moving in one direction and then very quickly like all of a sudden do exactly like that, like jump back or go in a different direction. Right now he's using that to kind of like save himself and try again. Here.
There we go.
Huge bounce up here. Oh wow, you cleared it by like a mile that time. That's wild. Good job. But basically that redirect, there are times later where he's going to be using that in order to like specifically hit triggers that you otherwise would have to like slowly go over to, or maybe like start an enemy's walking path, like things like that. He can actually just redirect his movement at any time during the wrench boost, like while you're flying. It's wild. To me, that took like so much to wrap my head around when I first saw this. I thought it was just like there was something weird going on, but it's like, no, you could just flick the analog stick and go the other direction.
And that creates so much more freedom as well with it, to be able to go any direction you need to.
Shoutouts to an awesome strat that if you just kind of hang back for a little bit, these two enemies will group up. And if you've ever really seen like any speedrun that deals with a lot of enemies in it before, you know that speedrunners generally want the enemies to be grouped together because then you can you don't have to worry about them kind of wandering off and getting really far away from you. You can usually take them out a lot faster by dealing damage to multiple enemies at once.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that we used to get a new weapon before in the route, the weapon that we're going to get right here, the Topiary Sprinkler, but we delayed it to get it in this level because we want to guarantee the ammo for the Shatter Bomb for especially that last fight. Otherwise, it becomes more RNG heavy.
Yeah, the Topiary is great because it will stun the enemies in place and also enhances the damage that you deal with your other weapons to the enemy. So I don't think it actually like does any damage on its own, right? Or if it is,
yeah, it only freezes the enemies, and I guess that's like kind of the main point of it. Is it's going to allow other weapons to actually do more damage.
Bdud doing a cool trick there by using one of the shortcut accessibility buttons to do a full wrench combo on that crystal, which actually lets him gain control while that cutscene is playing. Normally you're supposed to be frozen in place, but he can gain control, use it to kind of start advancing his movement. He's going to do a similar thing in this same planet a little bit later.
Got rare titanium.
We need another Bleedon crystal.
Yeah, so we're going to use the Topiary here for the first time, and it's these guys would normally take like 3 Shower Bomb, but it will only take 2. I'm also going to get a gold bolt here. I have to kind of interrupt the wrench boost too early in order to not hit the wall here.
Nice. Oh, very nice. That was great. That was like, I don't think he hit that in practice while we were like, it's
a hard one.
Yeah. That was super cool. But yeah, so that Topiary, you'll see all of the, like whenever an enemy gets hit by the sprinkler, it turns into all like grass and everything and just freezes in place. While it has that grass effect, it also will take more damage from the Shatter Bombs or any other weapon. So very important tool in order to like, I'm going to spoil this a little bit. We're going to get 4 weapons in the whole run. And so it's really important to have that damage increase.
And of course, we just skipped that entire section there. You could just, with no tricks at all, you could just hover boot up there and just do like a wrench slam to pick that up.
It's like this is a planet where you're switching between like the planet's in 2 different states from this kind of dimension switching thing. And Bdud's doing some soon blind movement here where you gain control as part of this, part of that dimension switching during, again, a section you're not supposed to gain control during. And now he's having to use some infinite jumps, I believe, right?
Yeah.
As off screen and trying to use the brief glimpse of the map he gets to tell if he got to where he needed to go or not.
Yeah, and normally you're actually stuck in place during this cutscene, but because we use the wrench combo, we were actually able to move during that.
Yeah.
Very good.
That was great. It's just so weird just watching like your little character just move on while the cutscene's playing.
Yeah, and another tech you've also been seeing Bdud do is outside of just the wrench boost, he's also been doing a lot of like wrench swings. Oh,
that
nice.
was great. Oh, that was really good.
Okay.
Until the end.
Yeah.
I never get that.
That's great. But yeah, like as you were saying, so he's doing these wrench swings all over the place while he's skating around. We'll probably see a few right here. Like there's one.
And that's also used a lot heavily as well. So pretty much what he's actually doing, you saw one right there. So he's actually only pressing the wrench button once. So he's swinging the wrench and then actually flicking the stick backwards and then forwards again. And that's pretty much allowing Ratchet or Rivet to swing the wrench multiple times. And that gives us a huge speed boost. And you can also jump out of that as well. And we just call those backwards wrench boosts or just BWB. Yeah. You can see right here, these are actually give you a lot of speed really quickly. So these are an alternative to where if there's not a wrench boost spot, this is kind of the next best thing. Yeah, or if you mess up a wrench boost, you can also back it up with these.
Right. Basically like, well, let's see. you got some more photo mode abuse here going on.
Yeah, we just kind of despawn that boss pretty much.
That boss is like he's moving down as he spawns and you photo mode abuse, so he just kind of keeps moving down and despawns himself.
It's not actually despawning, but it's like moving him out of bounds, and there's a trigger that will, like if he's out of bounds, the game will automatically kill him off.
Yeah, in case you somehow like he spawned out of the arena or something weird happened like that.
Yeah, and that boss was actually the same boss that we fought earlier, but it's like kind of not the same boss, it's like just the same robot. And we actually fight that same robot a couple different times as a boss, but it's like there's a different way of just kind of of getting rid of him every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, those wrench swings, you'll see Bdud do it kind of everywhere if you're noticing, especially whenever starting up some movement, because it's kind of like the main wrench boost. You have to have a specific kind of setup for it, like certain walls work better than others, that kind of thing. But you also need to, you are going to launch like a really far distance that's hard to control, right? And it takes like a little bit of time to set up. Whereas the backwards wrench boosts, you can kind of incrementally fit them in everywhere, and they're not going to give you a ton of speed immediately, but they'll let you build up a lot of speed over time.
Oh, so what we're going to do here is we're going to grab the checkpoint for the next section. You can actually fly over that with the actual wrench boost. But we're going to grab that checkpoint because we'll have to come back there later, and we're going to do a little detour here. We're actually going to be skipping this section by just, jumping over it to get this gold bolt.
Very nice.
And then we're going to skip the whole rail section here. This is probably like the biggest, quote-unquote, easiest wrench boost that person could do. But, okay, I'm going to have to get a little launch here.
Yeah, this looks easy, right?
Yeah, this looks simple.
Oh, it's the easiest wrench boost, huh?
Yeah, there's a bunch of death barriers around that as well. This sequence casually is actually very long because you would normally have to do like a couple different, like switching between dimensions on the actual rail. But Bdud actually got the fastest way of doing this right there, where you don't have to do a bounce at all. You just go straight to the drill.
Yeah, because the speed you get off the wrench boost is like kind of, it's not random per se, but you're not always going to get the same speed every time you launch. Because it's so particular about how you move the stick and when you decide to release the time slowdown and all that kind of stuff.
All right, so we have a big combat section here. How it's going to work is that there's going to be 3 drop ships. Once we kill the enemies in a drop ship, it'll spawn the next drop ship. So we're trying to get the 3rd drop ship to go as soon as possible, but then it's kind of iffy with the entities where we need to kill the last drop ship fully sometimes. So here's the 1st drop ship, now the 2nd one should spawn. Here's the 2nd one done, now the 3rd one should spawn. I also should try to deal damage to the last one that's going to be coming right here. This is the 2nd one. 3rd one intervenes.
I love that, it just flies right into the sprinkler.
Nice, okay. So now I have to clear fodder, and we should be good. Otherwise, you have to wait. I need ammo. Yeah, the further we get into the run, the ammo becomes more annoying to deal with. Okay, we got it.
Nice.
And then I can change performance mode to force a restart checkpoint.
Yeah, say any of these sequences where there isn't a restart checkpoint option, some of them there are, you can actually just change the visual options and it works the same way.
Yeah, it'll give you like an instant like save or instant checkpoint that you can then reload with to get the your ammo back.
Okay. And then I damage both of those guys to get Rivet's dialogue to go before Chief Engineer, and this saves me like 12 seconds. Because once we get Chief Engineer's line after Rivet's and Clank's line, we'll be able to do extra damage to this dropship. So I'm just waiting until right now.
Yeah, you do significantly reduce damage if you like attack this dropship while the chief engineer is talking.
Yeah, they wanted to make sure they had time to get everything out.
Yeah, especially for the story and everything. They didn't want the boss to go down too quickly.
And that's Blizzard.
Yeah. So Savali, Blizzard, and Torin are the terrible three. They're the three hardest splits in the entire game. So Torin is actually the hardest. It used to be my least favorite planet, but over time, as I got more consistent with tech, it's my most favorite. But Torin, it's basically like the back rooms, except imagine the back rooms, but every wall is an invisible death barrier. So yeah, this is horrendous with the death planes.
Yeah, I like to think of it like Savali, which is 2 planets ago where they gave you the hover boots. They leave it nice and open and big and flat and everything so that you can play around with them. On this one, they really want you to go on the rails. They want you to do nothing but go on the rails in this planet because it's a lot of really cool, fun set pieces casually. So I like to think of it as the sky is lava.
Yes, exactly. You have to be directly in the line of sight of the actual rail or you're going to die.
Like if we could pull like debug triggers for this, it would probably look like a series of tunnels all around the rails. And if you're away from those, you have a good chance of hitting a death barrier. But we have this really cool movement tech that's way faster than grind rails that you can use to fly across the screen. And because this is all a really grind rail heavy planet, it is open and there aren't a lot of there isn't a lot of land to slow you down, right? You could fly over big gaps. So we want to do that as much as possible, but for Bdud, it's all about trying to make sure that he can hit these checkpoints he needs to be able to progress the story without hitting these death barriers, which are it's a really tough position to be in.
Yeah, our next gold bolt is actually coming up right here. This is actually being got out of sequence a little bit, so you're actually supposed to get this during the long rail section, but you can actually, just go off the ledge here. You can also grab the rift as well to grab this gold bolt, and then we can just reload and go back up there.
I wanted to shout out this $100 donation from Bdud5's mom, dad, and Ollie.
Oh,
love watching you in your element, Bdud5.
Oh, thank you, Mom and Dad. Appreciate it.
If I remember right, is Ollie your dog?
Yes, Ollie's my
Yeah,
dog.
let's go, Ollie.
Thank you for watching my dog this week while I'm at GDQ.
Did you think the dog typed any of that or what?
I think so. Probably
Yeah,
got
probably.
some paw prints in there.
Okay, so this fight, we're going to have no time loss strats after this fight to get some collectibles.
Yeah, so what that means is basically there are going to be points where we have to wait on what would otherwise be an auto-scroller, right? Like wait on either dialogue to happen or wait on, ships to move into place, that kind of thing. So instead, Bdud can go and spend that time, break himself out of whatever he's supposed to be doing, and go get things like this raritanium, this spy bot as well.
We'll explain why we get the spy bot later.
Yeah, much later. And then also be able to go and get things like gold bolts that we need for the point of this run.
Oh, and here's another boss that's going to kind of just fall through the floor and die. We're not going to fight him.
Yeah, that photo mode abuse, man, it's great.
All right, nice. Okay,
There we go.
nice, very good. And I got a double cutscene skip too.
Nice. So that one's especially good too because if you've noticed, every time he picks up a gold bolt, or almost every time, there's like a nice little dance animation or whatever as you grab the gold bolt, and you can't really do anything while it's happening. But if you get kind of sucked into a cutscene at the same time, then we get to overlap those little animations or cutscenes. And
Also, this boss is not even there. There's normally supposed to be another guy that's on the other side, but for some reason, the photo mode abuse here actually prevents the enemy from even spawning, so there's just nothing.
yeah.
So this is going to be a very hard trick that I'm trying to do just specifically for GDQ that I don't normally go for. I'm going to give myself a few tries to do it, but I'm trying to, it's going to be basically blind. I have to do this wrench boost blind.
This thing is so cool.
Yeah, normally you're supposed to go across this kind of rail section, but this off-screen wrench boost will give us a ton of speed. There you go.
Nice. Oh,
Nice. Okay.
Nice.
So you can see my momentum's carrying over onto the rails, and I'm going on this rail a lot faster than I should be.
Yeah, you are not supposed to fly this fast on it.
I'm glad I got that first try.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Again, if you're ever confused about when a wrench boost is happening, especially if it's happening off screen, look in the bottom right corner for that green time slowdown thing. It means he's setting one up. And then he used another photo mode abuse in order to effectively ride a rail and then launch off of it.
Yep.
And to be able to skip being locked in on the rails and instead travel through all of this kind of out of bounds, kind of inbound section, and just keep breaking off of the rail.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Hold on. I love this line here with the fixer. I cannot fix. I cannot be. be fixed. I love the line delivery so much.
Yeah, really good.
It's become a tradition to just repeat him every time when I do runs on Twitch.
Yeah. But this has been a sick Torrent. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
it's really good.
Yeah. And another PMA there kind of puts us in the air, so it's a little bit faster to get to the end here. So yeah, a lot of this was pretty much just skipping the rails and just hitting the required checkpoints to actually complete the level.
Use your time building a
Oh,
new
nice.
simulator.
There you go.
Nice. Okay. That was a really good
Yeah,
torrent.
Yeah,
you can just
that was
you can-
so good.
You can just kind of do a bounce off the fixer, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, he just like pops into place sometimes too with how we do it. Oh, man. Yeah, that was great. So the terrible 3 are done, which is good. Doesn't mean like everything is easy from here on out, but at least that kind of gauntlet of 3 planets in a row.
Yeah, and this planet's actually very unique in all gold bolts because we can kind of get the gold bolts completely out of sequence in this level, which is really sick because a lot of this level is more kind of linear. It's more kind of like underwater hallways, which you'll see soon.
So there's one. It's the
Yeah,
first
there's
one.
the first one.
And the trick is that you go into this underwater area, like this underwater base, as Syn was just mentioning, and you have to wait for this elevator to get all the way to the bottom of it. It's not, you know, a lot of times the triggers have been when Ratchet gets to the bottom. This one's when the elevator gets to the bottom. But Bdud can actually avoid getting locked into the elevator in order to just do this and just fall. Ooh.
There's a death floor right here.
There we
Okay,
go.
there we
Fall
go.
all the way down. We still have to wait for that elevator to get to the bottom, but instead of being locked in there and wasting a whole bunch of time, you can use that
Yep,
time
we
to
can-
grab gold bolts.
Yeah, and this gold bolt is a little bit out of the way. This is actually towards the end of this level.
Yeah.
So we're kind of doing this way out of order.
Then,
No, I need to get off the Magna Boots with an IJ.
oh yeah, because the magnet boots in pretty much every Ratchet game are like really slow. They let you walk upside down and things like that on specific surfaces, but they tend to slow you down. You can't use your fastest movement a lot of the time. So we want to avoid them whenever
Nice.
possible.
Nice,
Nice
yep.
wrench boost.
And this is the other gold bolt just right under this this room. You can kind of see the yellow there. There we go.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh.
And so by this point, the elevator would ideally just hit the bottom. So we've collected all the gold bolts in this level, and we're at the beginning.
Yep. So we spent a bunch of, we like to call it free time or no time waste, right? Like time
Pretty
where we
much.
would have just been sitting on that elevator, riding it down, humming to, some elevator music, and instead go get to grab some extra collectibles.
Yeah, there's still time loss from, like when we go into photo mode to do an IJ, when we do slow-mo, when we restart checkpoint, but, it's virtually minimal time loss throughout all of that.
Significantly faster than having to go and do those after you've completed the level or along the way.
Yeah, this level as well, you might see a lot more backwards wrench boost because this level has a lot of like clutter and like just stuff sitting on the ground.
Big
that just
wrench
makes
boost
it
here,
difficult.
though.
Yep, nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, we have to make sure we go far enough back for that one, by the way.
We're gonna get another
to move forward.
dialogue mute right there using the create menu, so we're losing the music again and a lot of the sound effects, but you get to still just hear James Arnold Taylor grunting as every weapon gets thrown out.
Yeah, and who we actually muted there was actually Junkbot, who is our helper for this level. And he has a line that we want to skip because this sequence will load faster.
And now we're stuck in the elevator, so like for a moment.
Yeah, there's some bolts behind this wall that you can break and get.
Yeah.
Yeah, your bolt count in the bottom right is still really important because we're going to be buying one more weapon, and that weapon costs 30,000 if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So currently at 14,000, got a lot of work to do on that bolt count.
Yeah, and even
Laughter.
the
T-pose.
oh, we got it for a
Nice.
second.
For like a frame.
You still got like a frozen pose, at least. The other cool thing about this planet in particular is that we've been seeing a lot of like big open areas, but now we're seeing a bunch of small hallways, and Bdud's still having to like navigate all of these wrench boosts through them. And if you kind of like, just face plant into a wall, you're going to lose all that speed. So you really got to be on point with how you're moving Ratchet or Rivet.
Yeah. And so there we just went in to start Junkbot's dialogue, and then we're going to go into this pocket dimension to get a checkpoint, and all the dialogue actually gets cut off when we go into this. But thankfully, it actually skips the rest of Junkbot's dialogue, so we can just immediately start the glitch section.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much of the like routing of all of the movement in this game is based around either dialogue or checkpoints, like
Yeah.
story flags, basically.
It's a very, very modern game, very checkpoint heavy. So it's like you see all the systems that they have in place, and you want to try to use them. That's why I love just glitch hunting in this game, because there's just so much intricacies to try to fiddle around with and toy with. I love it.
And if you're not super familiar, what we're talking about when we say that we need to like hit all these checkpoints and stuff is imagine like a big to-do list, and in order to leave the planet, we have to check everything off that to-do list. And in some of these planets, we can do that in any order. In others, we have to do that from 1 to 20, you know, like from the top down of the list. And every little checkpoint we're hitting is basically telling the game, okay, they've done this part of the game now, they can move on to the next part.
And a lot of them can be like major parts of each level, but some of them can also be as simple as like, oh, okay, they entered this area.
Yeah.
Okay, check this box.
Step on this little section of ground.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yep.
I have another dev donation here. This one is from Insom Dev Montel with $100 and no comment. Chat, with a $100 donation like that, you could be entered to win every single prize we have available right now and get partway to winning to be entered to win the grand prizes. Right now at the $100 mark, we have a save versus kill scale mail drape inspired by the ever classic Bid War. It is beautiful, it is stunning, and these prizes right now are, I believe, rotating pretty soon. So if you are interested in any of them, please get your donations in at gdq.gg/donate. If you want to take a better look at them, you can do that at gdq.gg/prizes.
Highly recommend, by the way, as a former prize winner from GDQ for donating, like I won a grand prize once. People do win them. Like, definitely donate in for those prizes. They like to joke that they hired me in the past because I couldn't stop winning, so they had to prevent me from being eligible.
We can take one more donation.
Sure thing. House Trividiot also sent in $100. Hi, JHobz. Let's go GDQ.
That is my my Wednesday trivia team. So, hey, thanks, guys.
Are you okay?
Okay, so we're gonna do a trick here where we don't get the Magnum boots, get rid of them, and now we can just go off this and do a wrench boost.
Yeah, and this is also where that gold bolt was before. We were underwater, so we don't even have to worry about that.
Yeah, and you're supposed to be, with the Magnum boots, like latched to the ground around here so that you can move underwater a bit.
The Magnum boots don't
seamlessly.
get any justice. We actually skip all of the Magnum boot related sections in this run.
Yeah, Bdud just permanently disabled them for the rest of the run, which, you know, sorry to all the Insom devs that worked on it who are donating, but also not that sorry.
Yeah, oh, and right here, we're actually setting up a very specific fight here to be able to leave a door to the end of the level open. So Bdud's going to slow down time here while the enemies are spawning, and he's going to be throwing bombs here. Hopefully the door remains open afterwards.
Yes,
Did.
Nice.
Awesome. Okay, that's sick. I know it looked like nothing, but trust me, it's a clap-worthy moment.
Yeah, that can be really tricky. That's normally like 70% kind of accuracy on that if you do the fight correctly. If you kill the enemies too early, the door can shut, and if it's too late, the door can also shut. There is actually a backup to this that is also pretty cool, but it does lose a bunch of time.
Yeah, it saves like 35 seconds. It's
so
like
this door right there, that door that Bdud just went through is supposed to be closed right then.
Yep, and there's supposed to be a giant fight that you do there where you also have to fight, I believe, 2 juggernauts as well. It's a super, super long fight. It loses like a couple minutes. So that door just being open kind of saves all that time.
Yeah, it's awesome.
yeah, we would have had a backup strat to do like an out of bounds method, which would have looked cool, but it still would have lost like 35 seconds to do that backup out of bounds. But yeah, I'm so happy for that. Like, that's a big trick in any percent cats where it's just a big reset point if you don't get that. So.
Yeah.
And at least we got to ride an elevator.
Yeah. Is that the trick? I think you said, Bdud, that like when you're doing runs, you kind of don't consider it a run until you're past that trick.
Pretty
right?
much this planet is the deciding factor of if I have a run going or not.
Yeah.
In front of you.
Yeah. Because from this point on, like this is like the midpoint. We're gonna have a big Nefarious fight. We need to get the topiaries to level 3 to make to get the upgrades on the topiary to deal more damage to the Nefarious. Once we're past this, it does start getting a little bit more slow paced. Like, but it's like because of that, I don't have to worry about major time losses either. I need to go get this gold bolt, by the way.
I also think Bdud has a different definition of slow pace than me. I'm just going to throw that out there.
This doesn't look very slow paced to me.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1 second.
So we're back at Xerxes for the second visit here. Again, leveling up the topiary sprinkler. You can see it's level 3 in the top right, and then we just got all of the, you can think of it as like a skill tree almost, so we got all of the raritanium upgrades that we can get at this point. And that's because we have this midway fight with Dr. Nefarious here.
Yeah, the majority of this fight is actually just throwing the topiary, and then, from the upgrades we got, we'll do like that additional damage from the Shatter Bomb. This fight's actually really cool because it throws you through all of like the dimensions of the planets that we were just on for like the first part of the game. So this is kind of supposed to be like you're the midway through part. Like, let's do a boss fight. You're going through all the previous levels.
Yeah, since I know we do have devs watching, like, huge shout outs for the like miraculous nature of the loading of this game and like some of the other games like the Spider-Man games that you've been working on. Like, it's ridiculous how fast they can just load entire new maps through like this by jumping through a rift because of what they were able to work with the PS5 tech.
Yeah, in this fight, we're actually hoping that Nefarious also gets topiaried. I think he did, so we can hurt the Grunthor
just
and
off screen up above.
Yeah, there you go. Because typically Nefarious will have like a shield around him, and you won't be able to do damage.
Nice. It's important to note too, like this fight and some of the others we've kind of seen, they work like this, right? Where you deal some damage and then you move on to another phase. You deal some damage, you move on to another phase. Okay. Keep that in mind for the last fight in the run.
Also, we still have to get the gold bolts, right, for this level? I think there's a pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool one coming up.
Yeah. So everyone, pay attention to the screen right now. Awesome bug track, done quick.
Yep, that is an AGDQ reference in the game. I'm clapping for the devs on that one, honestly.
Awesome job having a GDQ reference in your game. It's so cool.
Yeah, I was like on staff when this game came out, and we were all so excited. Like, I gotta say, we were all extremely excited when we saw that.
But there's not really a lot of tech in this actual race itself. Like, we're just trying to get through and not blow up.
Yeah. Last appearance of the Speedle, I think, if I remember correctly.
There is one appearance later that we skip it.
In the run.
If I fail it, I need to. Whoop. Okay, thank God. Sometimes you get extra height than what you're supposed to. So
yeah, but now's a good time, I think, to fit in some donations.
Yep.
Sure thing. We had another dev donation. This one was, excuse me, I lost it briefly. This was a $400 donation from Insom Dev Sergio. Thanks for showcasing our game another year at GDQ. Have fun and good luck with the run. Less than 3.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
There's also a $100 donation from Pitman Lion House. Time to Ratchet up the excitement. Less than 3. Oh, also Clank.
Nice.
All right, real quick here, I can change performance mode right now to skip that animation and it still gets the gold bolt. We're gonna go over to the second gold bolt that we need to get in the arena, pest control, which is basically I just have to wait for the enemies to come out of the waves and kill them. So we can take a couple more donations here.
Glad to hear it. Greedy Old Ka sent in $25. Are you ready for a shifty shuffle and speedrun? Bdud wrench boosting his way into our hearts. Congrats on the dream of running RA at GDQ.
Thank you. Thank you, Greedy. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, this is, I always mention this to a lot of my Twitch people, but like Rift Apart is like my first GDQ goal that I wanted to get ever since 2022 to get into a GDQ. I've gotten several other games in, but this was the original, so it's just come full circle now, so I'm very appreciative of that. We can do another donation.
Absolutely. Killalambak sent in $100 to Doctors Without Borders. Hey Bdud5, good luck on the rest of the run, and may the wrench boosts be fruitful.
Yo, I know that name.
Yeah, guys, we know that guy. Shout out Killa. Like, real super OG runner.
Yeah, exactly. I'm old enough that I don't know half the new incredible runners of these games, but I know that name.
Yeah, great Todd runner.
Yeah.
I'd also like to announce for the Ogre Battle run coming up later this night, we have a bid war to name the character. Currently in the lead with $100 is Curd Ape. There's a lot of time on this bid war, so much time for you to put in a name and get it attention, get it to the top. Of course, if you like some of the other names available, you could support them. In second place is with $13.40, calling back to our wonderful Hey You Pikachu run.
Honestly, the biggest travesty is that we, sitting here getting ready for this run, did not get to hear most of that run. And I loved everybody who's part of that run too, so I'm so excited to go back and watch that one. It was a blast.
Yeah.
The VOD on that one will be immaculate.
Yeah.
All All right, so we have a choice between Ardolus and Sargasso. We're going to go Ardolus because we need to buy the Warmonger here to help us on the Sargasso level because that's combat heavy.
So this is basically the pirate level, as you might want to call it, the pirate planet. Still a lot of wrench boosting to just fly. It never gets old to me. Like, it really doesn't.
Yeah. It's always sick, no matter what planet it's on or any of the applications. It always looks awesome. There's actually a fight coming up here. This door is going to open, and the room is actually the exact same as what it is in Todd. But we can kind of just go behind the arena and then just skip the whole thing. So we don't have to do that fight at all.
Pretty sure this is what they wanted you to do.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, we're going to go to the other side here.
That sounded like we scripted that.
Yeah.
Like, you two just both. It's so funny.
And this is actually the most important dialogue mute in the entire game. This one saves a lot of time.
Yes.
But Pierre is going to yap for a very, very, very long time. So thank God we can, just mute his dialogue.
Yeah.
You still just get to hear everything.
The death noises are just so funny.
I need to get a lot of bolts here now too because this is where we need 30,000 and specifically at this part, is going to help us a lot. I need to get a checkpoint right there. Cool. That'll come into play in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it's basically spawning something that's going to effectively be extra bolts later.
Yeah, and it's also a great safety net as well because the bolt routing, even in AGB, even though we kind of go out of our way, so there are some extra bolts, the bolt routing is very tight in this game. And any percent, it's like you exactly hit the 30K, like right when you need it. And it's pretty much the same in this. It might be lenient by maybe like 1,000 bolts, but it's still pretty tight on bolts.
Also, I love that we get all these kind of like semi-corrupted sound effects of the like these tinny sound effects of all the bolts like collecting. Shout out to the sound design in this game. It's actually awesome. I love all of the like core sounds that happen.
Nice. There's a gold bolt there we just got.
Yeah. That's hard to get on the path here, so I'm glad I got it.
Yeah, and if you miss that one, ideally we would just keep going, and then we could get it later in a different section.
All right. Guys, it's time. Are you time for a shifty, shuffling shanty?
Yeah, and if you've played this game, feel free to also, follow along with the words. I think we're going to be singing it here.
We're going to sing some shanties. So real quick, this green pirate is a yapper, and so we're going to mute him, but it's not going to be a normal dialogue mute. We're going to start it here, but then after this dialogue is over, we're going to open our spy bot that we got in Torren, and it's going to infinitely close off all of his lines. Saves like 30 seconds.
Okay, here's the song.
Me hearties, sing shanties. My Twitch chat makes me sing this every run. Of girls in respectable positions of power.
Love that you don't get to hear the green lights at all. So.
Yeah.
Linger by
Who linger by the shore.
Where do they linger? Where do they linger? I don't know.
I like how the green robot, like, he's about to say it, or like he goes like this, and then he just stops.
Yeah. So, like, while Bdud is climbing up this elevator early, basically, I wanted to like quickly shout out that this is the same engine as like the Insomniac Spider-Man games, and so things like that Spybot trick and the photo mode abuse. There's actually been some like talk between the communities before about how maybe some of the tricks could work similarly across, and there is something similar in Spider-Man 1 with a backpack, what we call a backpack skip, that uses like the dialogue that comes from an inventory item, like the Spybot here. And I just think it's like super cool to see two completely unrelated communities otherwise getting to come together and like share some tech.
By the way, what I'm doing here is just for fun. You can like glitch. You can glitch out of bounds if you're spinning at this at the right angle.
Nice.
But yeah, it's just for fun. We have to wait on the dialogue.
Oh.
Not quite. Okay, so I've come up with some, there's an out of bounds coming up, and I've modified it a little bit, and I've called it the double back drift skip for this next combat area. And basically what it is we're gonna try to cut off some dialogue during it to spawn enemies early, and then go out of bounds to pull a crank from below. So yeah, I need to be really quick here, though. Get the checkpoint, then go back in before the door closes. Nice. That can be pretty hard. Cut off that line by going backwards with the current line.
And now he's got to get back on the other side of the door, but it's closed. Whatever will we do?
I need to kill these guys, spawn the dialogue. This is a tricky wrench boost that I have to do halfway against the wall before activating it. Cool.
Thanks for putting those holes there, Devs.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah,
I just love there's just a hole in that rock.
Yeah.
Someone,
Really
forgot to put
appreciate it.
someone forgot to put a rock there.
I think they did it on purpose for this moment.
Yeah, maybe.
yeah. So now I have to do this combat from underneath here, which can be kind of hard.
Yeah.
Remember that every bug is a feature.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, voice line, so I can pull this.
And the reason we actually did that, this whole thing, was because there's actually a boss you have to fight here. And normally this lock has like a lock on it. You can see it actually right there. There's a lock on there. But when it's actually under the map, it doesn't have the lock yet because the sequence hasn't started. So you can start turning it before it becomes locked. And we can just skip the boss.
Skip the boss entirely. I know, it's super cool. I love that you just get to like look up and throw through the water in, in the cave.
Ooh, I almost hit that
Take
TNT. All right, so this is going to be a long section, an auto-scroller, kind of. I do have to do stuff, but we call it auto-scrollless. Yeah.
Because it's like Ardolus and like an auto-scroller, so we just call it
I do need to get 30,000 bolts within the next minute and a half, though, because by the end of this like first part of auto-scrollless, we need to buy the Warmonger for basically 0 time loss.
Yeah. So you're gonna see, like, because we have access to this wrench boost giving you so much speed, we just like break off of the ship and go and collect more bolts and anything that needs to happen right now.
Yeah, thankfully there's no restriction with having to be on the ship itself. So like in comparison to like New Game Plus where you just stay on the ship the whole time, it's way more interesting in the any % categories because it almost doesn't look like it's an auto scroller. Like we're doing so much extra stuff here while the ship is moving.
Yep.
And to show exactly how tight the bolt routing is in this, look how close I am right now. I am on the margin of it possibly not working. Like, not reaching that 30,000. So this is extremely tight bolt routing.
Yeah. Again, it's bottom right corner of your screen, 29,924 right now.
Yeah, and it's right after this fight where we're going to buy the Warmonger. Okay, so he pretty much perfectly hit the 30K exactly when we need to do the trick to get the Warmonger.
Yeah, dude, I love speedrun routing. It's so good.
So the ship's just going to keep going without us. Big bounce.
Still flying.
And we go to Mrs. Zircon, go buy our weapon.
And this is complete 0 time loss. So the Quantum is still saying his dialogue lines there.
Now, from this point on, we want to get the Warmonger to V5 as soon, before the final boss, and it's very tight on if we're able to do that or not. So I did a checkpoint to spawn these guys earlier, back when we were here earlier in the run, and I'm going to try to kill them to do some level ups.
Reminder that the auto scroller is still happening,
it's still going.
by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, and now we're back.
We're back on it. Yeah.
It just finished. So yeah, I only lost probably like a few seconds to just actually reloading the checkpoint itself.
He went and bought a weapon, leveled it up halfway to the next level, and then just restart checkpoint to get back. And now he's going to try to shoot these ships way off in the distance to hit these enemies for a little bit of extra EXP here and there.
Yeah, we fully take advantage of, while we're kind of waiting, making sure that we're optimizing, if there's enemies in other areas that we can kill, or the ships flying by from what you just saw.
Same thing here, I'm gonna get some XP.
Yeah, you normally would go to this ship, but not by doing a wrench boost.
Yeah.
So instead, we just don't wait on it and just launch ourselves over there instead.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything if you do that crank early. So...
Got one level up now on the Warmonger. Again, top right corner of your screen. You can see right now it's currently equipped, level 2, just barely. The EXP bar is just at the bottom now for the next level. And what he's doing on top of trying to make sure that he levels up the Warmonger is for the fastest, trying not to lose too much time in combat either. So in a lot of places, he'll fire off a Warmonger shot, and then it has a slow rate of fire. So switch to the Shatter Bomb, fire a Shatter Bomb as well, which at this point is our fully upgraded, most powerful weapon, and then switch back to the Warmonger to fire the next shot. And he has to kind of play a little game of being flexible with how much XP he gets on whether he goes for the faster fight and has more Shatter Bombs, or the slightly slower fight but gets more XP on the Warmonger.
And the Sprinkler won't actually be used as much. It will still be used, but it ends up actually being faster in certain fights to actually just switch between the Shatter Bomb and the Warmonger.
Yeah. And then later, once we get the Warmonger all fully leveled up, then it's like, okay, now we can just go for maximum damage.
Yeah. Oh, so for this, we're actually over here early. We actually have to wait for a hurl shot to appear before the end of this level, like, it's triggered. So we're actually gonna let Quantum talk for a bit. We don't want to kill both of these guys. If Quantum's lines get cut off, you actually soft lock. So yeah, we'll wrench boost backwards and then back forward again, and now you can see the health bar finally appeared, and the end of the level will be there. But of course, the one boss is actually already gone.
Nice. And we just got to V3, so I can do all my V3 upgrades.
And you get that ammo refill too, which is always handy.
Very nice.
Raritanium there again. So the Raritanium's in the bottom right corner of your screen, that 29 right below the bolt count. And our bolts at this point don't matter anymore. We needed the 30K for the Warmonger, and now we need nothing else. But that Raritanium still matters. You saw shot all the way back down to 2 because we still want to get this weapon fully upgraded by the end of the game.
Okay. So now that we have our level 3 Warmonger that has all of its Raritanium upgrades up to this point, we're going to do the combat heavy section of Sargasso 2. So we're revisiting this planet. We never got any of the gold bolts on our first visit. We'll get it pretty much at the end of this split, but yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of convenient that one of the planets that we didn't get the gold bolts because we didn't have the hover boots yet, which meant we didn't have the wrench boosting, you have to come back to anyways. So you might as well just get it the second trip when you can be flying around the map.
Yeah, and the routing as well makes it very unique because on some planets we kind of have to determine, okay, is it faster to get the gold bolt now or is it faster to get it later when we return? You know, if the tech is way better. And for some of the planets like Sargasso, it's faster to get all 3 gold bolts after the planet's like already done pretty much.
Which is rare for this run.
Yeah.
For no reason in particular, I want to shout out that we have now crossed $267,000 raised. Anybody who is not thrilled about that bit, feel free to donate enough until it no longer says that on the screen.
Can we get an update on that Jedi Forces incentive? I'm really curious how.
Absolutely. We are now 57% of the way there with $8,427 remaining. We're making incredible pace on that. Chat is doing wonderful. Give yourself a round of applause.
Listen, if you're upset about the World Cup right now, donate to that incentive and tell us why. And if you're loving the World Cup right now, donate to that incentive and tell us why.
And if you have nuanced opinions on the World Cup, just donate.
Okay. This is very ammo tight. But I didn't have to go back and get any ammo. Very good.
Nice.
Yeah, that's probably the most ammo consuming fight in the whole run. So, well, maybe the second most. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, the next wrench boost we're going to actually be doing here, there's actually a trigger underneath the ship we're supposed to go to, and it extends very far down for some reason. We're going to see Bdud's like, definitely not somewhere where he should be. And he's going to restart now, he's on the ship.
Yeah, just on the ship.
All right, so we're going to do a PMA. This is a long one.
It's that photo mode abuse we've seen a couple of times.
Yeah, this time, though, we have enough time where we can get a nice frame.
Oh, that one looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's me and Trudy together.
The purpose of this one is Trudy will actually drop down. So this is the same as kind of what JHobz was saying towards kind of the start of the run. We were on Sargasso, is like all those like actors that are like actually in the world, they'll like remain frozen, but the events will actually still keep playing.
Yeah. And now we have to take out each of the cores of these ships, and then they're going to get these shields that you have to worry about. Bdud's actually going to shoot the shield early in order to just cause Kit's line of dialogue to happen a little bit sooner. Basically, I presume the way they're doing this is if you're shooting the shield and you don't understand, they have Kit say, hey, the shields are impenetrable, and if you just haven't even tried, then they give you a little bit more time before it happens.
And this gold bolt's actually another kind of like no time loss gold bolt, because we have to wait for like Emperor Nefarious and the Borg to talk and everything. Yeah.
And Bdud's doing a little thing where he's basically like doing kind of a speed dash towards the bomb right before like triggering the bomb pickup. It just helps like speed up the animation that would happen of picking up the bomb.
Yeah.
Get another one here in case that missed. It didn't. Okay, we're nice. Okay, so we're gonna get the last 2 gold bolts, and this is gonna look sick. So I'm gonna try to do. Yeah, I'm gonna focus.
Yeah, one of them is in a ring, pretty much at the top of the level. There we go, nice.
Flying, can you get the height right?
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Carry the momentum. I'm gonna get a checkpoint right there. Okay, I lost the momentum at the end, but that's
Dude,
still
you got
really
like
nice.
95% of it. That was so cool.
And because I got the checkpoint at the start of that factory, I can just do this, and I'm in front of the ship. Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's so good.
I didn't get to see the full like thing in practice. I just saw him like hit the one in the middle of the ring, so getting to just fly through it and keep going.
And Bdud also avoided a cutscene there as well, so he was also like avoiding like a cutscene with the Mort and Trudy.
Nice.
Yeah. The later half of this is going extremely smoothly.
Yeah, we're heading back to Savali again. This is the planet that we got the hover boots on the first time. But this time we're going to be kind of like heading into some catacombs and stuff. It's going to be a little bit different than the first time we got here. But it is still a great, you know, wrench boostable planet for a lot of it.
Oh, I got to level up so my Warmonger refilled on its ammo. That's
Nice.
super good.
Nice. Yeah, so it's all the way up to V4. It's got one more level to go.
Oh, that little guy. Hold on. Little guy, I need you to die. Sorry. I don't know if I got him. I guess we'll know in a second.
Oh yeah,
I got him.
the camera kind of
Nice,
clips under the
nice.
water a little
Yeah.
bit there.
It's because he's trying to aim super high. And then we get a cool boost up to here. So Bdud basically did something there to skip some of the enemies from spawning, like to prevent some of the enemies from spawning and have that combat encounter go a little bit faster than it otherwise would.
Also, here's a burst pistol use, probably the only in the run. There's actually a reason for this. So if you kill that enemy too early, this entire part just soft locks.
So you go to your
Yeah.
weakest weapon.
Yeah, so you have to wait for that. You have to wait for like Nefarious to actually like start talking, and then you can kill that enemy. Because you saw once Bdud killed the enemy, that line like immediately like cut off pretty much. So it's like if he dies way too early, the lines just never start.
All right, I'm going to kill this guy early to spawn the dialogue early. Yep, there we go.
Nice.
We know that we got it early.
I have another dev donation for you.
I think go for it.
Go ahead.
$500 from Insoft Dev Grant to Doctors Without Borders. At Insomniac, we love our short, furry protagonists. Really happy to see Ripped Apart at GDQ again. Shout out to our amazing speedrun community. Good luck on the run, Bdud5.
Thank you.
Enjoy these summer bug tracks done quick. It was fun to do, and it's so much better to see it raising money for an amazing cause. Thank you so much, Grant, and all of the other devs from Insomniac who were donating this entire run. The love that has been coming out for this run and for Bdud5 has been incredible to watch.
Yeah, it's super cool. But also, I would like to point out that I see no fur currently on this character. So I don't know.
Yeah. It looks like just Clank and Kit.
Yeah. Next game is going to be just Clank and Clank.
Yeah.
We can probably go for like, let's go with one more donation.
Sure thing. I'd actually like to instead highlight the Ogre Battle Name the Character Bid War, which has a new lead name. It's, well, it's Shrek. I don't know why this didn't happen any sooner. Shrek is in the lead with $360, so the previous frontrunner, Curd Ape, is in second place with $100. I'm still rooting for the underdog, currently at $86.07. Did they do the 607 at the end on that on purpose? Anyways, it is in third place. It is so possible to get that in first place by the time the Ogre Battle run starts.
Nice. So in this section, Bdud has to kind of just stand on each of these pressure plates and wait for them to go down. But they pop up sequentially, and they take time to pop up. So that's why you saw like Bdud just ran off and grabbed some raritanium in the meantime, because it was just time that otherwise you'd just be killing anyways.
Yeah, and there's actually one gold bolt that we did not get before because we couldn't access it earlier. And for some reason, this mountain, there's just a hole there.
Thanks again, guys.
So yeah,
It's a pretty good feature.
Yeah, that is like a great feature. I think more games should have that feature.
Okay, nice. And we also get a checkpoint that puts us at the end of the catacombs. So there's a very, very hard trick here called catacomb skip. Yeah, I guess, do you want to explain it?
Yeah, sure. So in this section, you're actually supposed to ride a speedle through this kind of long, I guess, like racetrack section. And this section actually takes a very long time to do. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to go, I guess this is kind of out of bounds. Not sure if it's out of bounds. Kind of doesn't look like it is,
The lines are blurred at this
the lines are
point.
blurred. And we're going to do a big wrench boost here. And we're going to grab two different checkpoints. There's one right there, and then there's another right here. and then we can just go straight to the end, skipping the whole thing. Nice.
Nice.
Dude,
Let's
that
go.
was awesome. All the way, sneaking all the way through that door, right through the top of it as it like came down. Oh, it's so great. He actually used an extra like hyper strike, which is that, you know, ground slam with the wrench, just to sneak through there.
Also, what did Clank say? What was that?
No, Clank's not being
Don't worry,
PG.
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
It's late enough.
and that catacomb section as well, if you do happen to mess up that main wrench boost, there is actually 2 backup wrench boosts for each of the sections, depending on when you mess it up. That is actually something really cool to mention, that this game has tons of backup strats.
Yeah.
So even if like the harder strats, you can only get part of it or you can't get the whole thing, there's so many different backup strats for wrench boosts.
It's one of the wild things about movement tech like this that happens in several speed games where it's a piece of tech that you can kind of do anywhere, but not exactly anywhere. And that means you need to know all of the places you can do it for if you lose your speed at any like given point in a planet or in a section.
Yeah. And it shows also so much skill gap as well between runners, because then people, like, it's easy to tell people that know significantly more because they know all the backups.
Because they've failed it every way you can fail it and have to learn how to back it up from that point. Yeah.
So it can be really impressive as well. Even on the backup sense, like, knowing all the backups is very impressive.
Yeah.
Okay. Viscera and things pick up a lot again here for a few minutes. Okay.
Yeah,
Lost a little bit of momentum, but that's still pretty good.
Yeah, we're going to do actually a really tight IWB. Another interrupting wrench boost. Nice, got that.
Not okay, we're good.
There we go.
Okay, this should be
Blue
gold bolt
pass,
number
gold bolt.
23.
Hopefully, right?
Nice.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, I need to get a checkpoint, a very tricky checkpoint that's right there.
Oop. We're just going to let you grab the air. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, if we didn't get that checkpoint that Bdud went back for, Clank just wouldn't be here for some reason.
Yeah, but he
and
is
the game
there.
Would soft lock.
He's in prison, so we got him.
Okay, we got Mission Impossible strat here. I gotta go fast enough to go between those doors. Nice. And then we're gonna try to get this Death Abuse, this gold bolt animation. Beautiful.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Let's go.
Awesome.
All right, so because I got 24 gold bolts, I have unlocked cheat codes. Number 23 unlocks infinite health, which basically means that I won't be able to take knockback damage anymore, which becomes very helpful in this like final tunnel sequence at the end of this level. But we also get, for gold bolt number 24, infinite ammo. So all of the horrible RNG that we have to deal with ammo, especially in the final level, we don't have to deal with an AGB. Yet again, kind of like making it a better any percent.
It's like your prize, you know, your reward for spending the whole run grabbing all of these gold bolts is now you get to not worry about ammo for the last section of the game.
And that's also something very common across every single Ratchet game. That's not something exclusive to this game. In all the Ratchet games, a lot of them either have like, you know, infinite ammo or infinite health, or, you know, various related cheat codes like big head or like wrench changes or other things.
Lightsaber
It's different
wrench
it's different in every game, but they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
More rare titanium acquired.
we'll have like time to talk about it, I guess, in the final split. But the final split is so notorious because they don't give you a lot of ammo to spawn. So we're talking about, if we don't have this infinite ammo, that is going to take like 30 seconds to a minute longer, depending on what our RNG would be like if we didn't have infinite ammo. So yeah, it makes a huge difference time-wise.
And some of this section is kind of waiting on this like prison transport thing to move. And when that's happening, Bdud basically just has to make sure that he clears out all the enemies before the you know, transport gets to its next destination. So there's kind of like you can't save you know, way too long, but you can lose time. So you have to make sure that you like hit that minimum amount of time.
Yeah.
Another big wrench boost here.
Yeah, we're trying to go in between. Yep, that kind of, I guess, frame right there.
Pretty good. Okay. Decently good.
Yeah, and there's going to be a wrench boost we're going to do right here, because typically you have to wait for like a laser gate to go down. There's a bunch of
I
dialogue.
like this one a lot.
But, you know, there's also another feature here where we can actually go through this wall.
I lost my momentum, but that's okay.
Yeah, and the trigger is actually in like a
Maybe
corner.
it's okay if I can get up.
There we go. And so this one will just be in a corner, and then we can just restart checkpoint from there.
There we go. Okay, we have to make Ratchet still move forward there, but then we can go back and spend our lovely free time save to get the final gold bolts.
Woo, we did it!
All 25 of them have been obtained. Now we just gotta beat the game. All right.
And if you were wondering what the glorious prize was for the 25th one, if you know infinite health, infinite ammo, or 23 and 24, it's actually gold weapons. So all the weapons will be gold. That is the ultimate reward.
As you can see, that prison transport's still moving, so Bdud didn't lose any time going and grabbing that bolt.
I've got some love for y'all in the donations.
Go for it.
Knight sent in $20 to Doctors Without Borders. Hi, Bdud. Currently working on my own PBs, but lurking in chat and wishing you good luck on your run, less than 3.
Thanks, Knight. Good luck with your runs.
There was also a $100 donation from Morristown. Hello to JHobz. Happy GDQ.
Yo, thank you all.
We also had a $15 donation from Sagittarius Studios. Bonjour, mes amis. Oops, wrong game. Bdud, congrats on getting Ratchet and Clank to the big screen. You've been killing it in practice, and you'll do great here. Cheering from home, Sagittarius Studios.
Thank you. Okay, we have a really tight tunnel here. If I can, it's gonna be a miracle if I don't mess this up. It looks incredibly sick if I don't mess it up.
Yeah, I love this part. Ooh.
Nice.
Nice. Just flying through.
And try to get the second part. Yes, good. Skip that. Rip tether.
All the way. All the way.
All the way.
So
That's the furthest we
good,
can take
That's
it.
so good.
Very nice.
Oh, I love that.
No.
Oh, jeez.
That's okay. We can take the
they're
whole shot.
You're good. Yeah. You guys
Not
just
that
far
big of a
enough.
deal. Few seconds. Actually, don't have to restart checkpoint now.
There we go.
Okay, so this is a very, very big fight. I have to go through this in a very specific order to spawn new waves very quickly.
Yeah, because the way it works for a lot of this game is that you know, fights are based on multiple waves of enemies, but you don't necessarily have to kill the entire first wave before the second wave will spawn. Sometimes you have to defeat any number of like any 2 enemies or something, or sometimes it's specific enemies. So Bdud knows exactly how to try to line all of this up so that he can freeze enemies when they're near other enemies, ideally, like as they're moving in different parts of their flight path, and knowing which ones to defeat first and prioritize to get the later waves to spawn as early as possible.
One. No. Who's alive?
Someone's alive.
Oh, somebody died. Okay.
Nice.
I think that was all of them.
Yeah.
I think that was all of them.
Thank you, Ribbit. All right, so there's gonna be 2 dropships that we're just gonna improve, like do our maximum DPS amount on by doing Shatterbob and Warmonger both while they're topiared.
Yeah, watch that health bar at the top. It just flies down now.
Why are you not topiared, my friend? Okay, that should be fine. Okay.
Quickly, use that crank to pull the cell back to...
Okay.
Only
So
because
that-
I saw you look up anyways. What's your PB?
I think, hold on. We're at 131 right now. We are about a minute ahead of world record pace.
What? Are you serious? Okay, it's not over yet, folks. So the final...
This final split is very
Yeah.
soft lock heavy. So it's, yeah, it's not in the bag.
Yeah, and that's not like a... Because, oh, they messed up in the game. No, we're going to do some shenanigans that make it soft lock heavy.
Nefarious is going to destroy the Emperor is truly turning our dimension into his own.
All right, another fight here.
Yeah, a lot of this last kind of level before the final boss is kind of just like a straight line where we have to kill a bunch of the sniper bots. So all we're going to be doing here is just kind of spamming our weapons to kill all the enemies. And then there's actually another boss that actually spawns before the final boss. It's another one of our Juggernaut friends. But he's going to go down pretty quickly with us switching between the Warmonger and the Shatter Bomb.
Here he is now. Remember, when he's all grassy like that, he takes extra damage and he's frozen. I know it didn't look like he was frozen because he was still moving, but trust me, he couldn't do anything.
Okay, checkpoint.
And
Good.
yeah, he was just gone. Just deleted that quickly.
Just deleted. Up here, we're gonna get like a fake skip cutscene, but once I skip the cutscene, if I restart checkpoint by changing my performance mode, it will skip to the next like combat immediately. So let me see if I can pull this off. I have to do like what I've been doing with like skipping double cutscenes at the same time, where I press 2 buttons at the same time. There we go. And then I can change, and there we go. We're in this fight immediately. Now, we don't want to use Topiary here, because if we use the Topiary in any ungrassed fights, he goes back into his rift immediately. So we're just gonna do our maximum DPS on this. Now, this part of the fight can soft lock when he reaches 25%. So I'm basically, there's a lot of reasons why he could, but I'm just gonna focus on on doing my thing.
Yeah. We're getting giant Nefarious here. We're back in Megalopolis now. The level we went to, you know, at the very beginning of the game.
Yeah, Nefarious is trying to turn this into the same city that we were at earlier.
Conquer another world, basically. Okay, so has to be careful with this arm.
Okay.
Nice.
He already went past 25%. Okay. Hopefully. Oh my god. He's scared. He doesn't usually take that long. I thought he soft locked. Okay. Oh, my heart.
Yeah, this phase specifically is prone to soft locking if you do this too quickly.
Okay. So there's one big strat in the game, and it's called Deathwater strat. So when we get to the end, there's going to be a strat where we can force Nefarious to accidentally lunge into water, and it will insta-kill him. It's pretty precise to do it, but what comes after is the actual hard part, because we have to kill the enemies in a very specific order, or else we soft lock, and we lose 30 seconds every time we have to do it. It's really, really difficult.
So basically, like, remember how I was mentioning earlier when we fought Nefarious, like, halfway through this run, that you get him, you know, you deal 20% of his damage, and then you enter another phase where maybe there's some more enemies. You deal another 20%, you enter another phase, that kind of thing. Well, instead, what Bdud's going to do is dunk Nefarious in the water, instantly taking him down to 1 HP. And as a result of that, we're going to skip all of those phase changes. Yep. But there's multiple waves of enemies that are going to spawn at the same time instead of in sequence like they normally would. And if we kill the enemies in the wrong order, then you'll soft lock the game because it won't know to advance. So there's the dunk.
Yep.
Nefarious is effectively dead.
Yep.
He's at 1 HP.
Yeah, and so ideally the enemies we want to kill is the ones that only spawn in the second phase. So Bdud's gonna like plan out here which enemies he needs to actually get rid of.
Yeah, they gotta be killed last too.
Yep. Yeah,
because
so
they've got a trigger to let the rest of the fight play out.
And it'll be the 2 enemies on the way left, so those guys that need to die last.
That's not gonna work.
Dang,
yeah, there was that one enemy on the right side.
Sometimes you can like get a little lucky and take them out late and hope the others still were in their dying animation or something, but... So trying again here. There's some randomness too with how like Giant Kit will slam the ground and help defeat some of the enemies. It can kind of play with things here. It's not being nice, really.
Yeah, and this can also be a little bit easier as well if you use the slowdown to kind of plan this out.
We got it.
Oh,
Okay.
nice, nice.
Oh.
So time is coming up really soon.
Yeah. Once I go in Kit's hand, that's time.
So get ready.
World record is 136.56, I think. So, yeah.
This will be world record.
This is world record. There we go. Time.
Yo, new world record. Let's go. Oh, smacked in the face, too.
That's about, what, a 40 second or 30 second world record?
That's wild. Dude, Bdud, I need you to fist bump me right now. Great job, dude.
I have been practicing every day for the last month because I wanted this run to be extremely good. It was a goal that I was trying to do to see if I could get a world record pace during this, and I did accomplish it. So this run, I love the movement so much in this game. This is what got me into speedrunning, and I love the past few years where I've tried to optimize every little bit of it. I absolutely love this game, and I'm the most proud of all my records that I have in this game. Thank you, Insomniac, so much for making this game and allowing wrench boosting to be a part of it.
About winning.
we are going to get into the arena stacking incentive real quick, but first I want to thank a few people. 5 specific people that in that first year where I started speedrunning really defined my values in speedrunning and who I am today and what I do going into every game and to every leaderboard. So first off, Syn, thank you so much for being like just pretty much my best friend in the speedrunning scene. You were my rival in that first year. My first person that I traded world records with, and I appreciate everything we've gone through over the years.
Yeah, and it's definitely the first run that I took like super seriously. So you've always been like completely awesome competition to be against, and it's glad that still now, the game's been out for 5 years now, that it's still kind of going, that we're still kind of doing all this together. So it's really awesome.
Yeah, I also want to thank Nautical Turtle. Us three amigos in the first year, we just spent so much in this game, and it was such a good time. He is probably the only person that knows more about this game than I do, so big shout-outs to Nautical Turtle. Shout-outs to Mark for everything that you've done hundo routing-wise and collectible routing-wise. It's been so incredible to see how you put things together. And then 2 other people that I always looked up to, 24/7 Yu-Gi-Oh! And Mobius. What you guys have done over the whole series and how you've treated the boards, I've always respected it so much. And yeah, it's all 5 of you guys really defined my values as a speedrunner. So thank you so much.
I guess it's time
Awesome.
to go home.
With that said, I think it's time to move on to the arena stacking. So we can simply return to Xerxes.
Yeah, thank you all for donating for this incentive, by the way. We get to do a cool little couple of showcases here.
Yeah, so we can start the incentive right now. So arena stacking is, the name implies, you stack several arena matches on top of each other. So I'm gonna start doing the stacking here. But how it basically works is I'm gonna press triangle to go in, go out, then press it again real fast and quickly select a challenge within the first like 5 seconds. So it's gonna look like this. And I'm gonna start with the mangling. And then once we're like right here, I'm gonna activate photo mode abuse, going into the map, holding photo mode as I go out of the map, and then it'll put us in the space. As soon as it changes, I can get out of it. So that's 1 stacked. Now I can do it again with another.
So you see at the top, it says wave 1. Like he is in an arena right now. Trust me, I know it doesn't look like he's in an arena right now, but he's in an arena.
Yep, and you can actually see the arena fighting going on in the background. You'll see like right here, you can see the mangler in the back. Yeah, so we did Manglers for Forever there, and then we're gonna do Kaboom Sick Blast, which is one where there's a lot of like flying goons.
He's got to wait, like, again, just a specific amount of time until he kind of sees everything change like that.
So I'm gonna stack 5. When we do all collectibles, we only stack like 2 or 3 at a time. It's very, very precise to not mess up with the stack in the all collectibles routes, but it is like stacking, like, basically you're gonna get through all 15. And this is gonna be the last one I stack, but yeah. Behold arena stacking.
Yeah, so we pretty much have like all of those challenges that Bdud just selected. They are all playing on top of each other right now.
Shout outs to the devs. How does this not destroy the game, by the way? Like,
Yeah.
So awesome.
Such a big, beautiful game, and this doesn't break it. I don't know how.
Yeah, like it's not even a frame dropped. It's wild.
So I'm gonna focus on 1 specific arena challenge. Like this would be how the all collectibles route would normally go, is like you wanna focus on 1. You wanna try to progress some of them, but you wanna go through all the arena challenges in a specific order and not alter one before another, because if you do the stack in improper time, sometimes the layout can just insta-kill you. Sometimes if arena matches finish while you're in the main area, or if 2 finish at the same time, one of them won't actually count and you'll have to do it again. There's a lot of little intricacies, so it's like, I definitely recommend checking the all collectibles route if you want to see all those intricacies and depth.
And you might notice he's using a weapon that we haven't seen up to this point, where he's causing everybody to freeze into icicles. And if you look on the left side of the screen, it says icicles destroyed. It's a 22 out of 25. That was like the win condition for that arena. There's a lot of, the arena missions and challenges are cool. They've been in a lot of the Ratchet and Clank games. They'll usually like introduce you to new weapons and have you try them out early, or like force you into a specific weapon that maybe, like maybe you wouldn't have tried this one yet. And so they kind of force you to use it in unique ways. Also, the arena layout changes for all these different ones, so that's why you can just get the weird, Clank clipping into the platform there.
So I have a LOL. I just booted up LOL that's random. This is my personal favorite arena challenge, and for every 5 kills, we just keep changing weapons. So we've only stuck with like 5 weapons the entire time. So this gives us a chance to see the arsenal of weapons, which is actually like what Ratchet and Clank is kind of known for. So we got Glove of Doom here. These little minion guys, our little friends, are gonna kill these guys. You can actually progress the kills by just wrench swinging the actual Nefarious Troopers of this arena challenge. Like, each one is separated by, oh look, it's everyone's favorite weapon.
The best gun. It's the best gun in the game.
This is the worst, like, DPS weapon of all time.
I just realized we've got devs watching. Bring back the Rift Ripper.
Yes.
Bring it back in the next Ratchet and Clank
Bring
game.
back
Bring
the
back
Rift
the Rift
Ripper.
Ripper.
That gun was sick, and it's only in Up Your Arsenal, I'm pretty sure.
It's so cool. Anyways, sorry. The weapons of this game are also very cool.
Yeah. Blast pistol's back. We got the Wolf gun. Yes, it shoots detonating dogs at enemies.
Apparently, you were telling me a cut weapon from the first game, right? They just had trouble making it work. In the very
this
first
gun,
game.
from what we know, that this gun was actually supposed to be in Rack 1, the very first game, but they couldn't because of like technological advances. But it made it into this game.
Very cool.
We got fun guys. They're pretty fun guys.
We went from wave 3 to wave 5. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I won't be showing the full like arena stacking route right now because that takes like 15 minutes to go through everything. So we'll finish this and then we'll move on to showcasing some of the cool other Easter eggs in Zerky's bar.
Yeah, but you would actually do this in an all collectible speed run. You would actually do this arena stacking, and there is like a planned route for what you actually want to stack, because this is also actually very easy to soft lock the game. So for instance, if you complete 2 challenges at the same time, only one of them will actually mark as completed, which means you have to do it again. And then if you actually complete a mission and then you re-enter that same mission you just did, the game will also soft lock.
Sorry, whoever spent forever working on the camera.
So
there you go.
so like that. So we just had another one complete at the same time.
Yeah, so this one wouldn't actually be counted because we finished it after we were already like back in the Zerky's bar area. Yeah. But that's a great example.
And there's a boss and the menu, so.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to restart that now. Hope you all enjoy the stacking, but we're not done. I have a few other Easter eggs that I want to showcase in the bars. So first off, we have a very important old Insomniac dev, Dan Johnson. He snuck his way into this game too.
Dan the man.
Dan the man. But yeah, I love that.
A million gold bolts in this, or I mean, a million bolts in this economy. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's amazing that they still include them in the games. I love that. We also have All for One, the popular co-op Ratchet game that it's actually pretty amazing. I played it first with Syn after I played this game. But yeah, like I love that they have the like key art and like it's the actual game playing on the machine there. And then there's one cool Easter egg that was only found last year, or it was revealed last year. So in order to do it, and you guys are gonna love this, we need to shoot this 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to shoot this 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And when we go up to the bowl, we can actually write it.
Someone's pin must have been 5413 or something. I don't know.
So look at this.
You got a rivet on the bowl, just basically T-posing.
Her arm's gone for some reason. Yeah, an Insomniac developer actually had to tell us this. So this wasn't actually a natural discovery, but that developer's probably like, okay, this is like way too good to keep it this long. Let's just reveal it.
So like weirdly specific too.
Yeah, okay. So that's all I want to show you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This was an awesome run. Thank you, JHobz and Syn, for commentating this run for me. You guys helped out a ton.
Thank you for having us, dude. Of
Yeah,
course. Congrats on the world record.
Thank you. Thank you.